Today we're going to begin with the massage sequence that we do throughout the Infinity Facial. We begin with the lymphatic drainage massage, which is a very simple lymphatic drainage technique. You can prepare the skin with the Supernatural 8 Recovery Oil. Not only will you get the fabulous aroma of the neroli, but it does give that aroma throughout the treatment. And then what you would do is use your normal massage oil or massage gel to just start to lubricate the skin through the shoulders, the back of the neck, before we start the massage. As you can see here, really I'm just distributing the oil, just making sure that I have enough slip, enough coverage so that I don't drag on the skin as I'm working. We start on the décolletage, very simple pumping action out to the shoulders and the axilla, up through the back of the neck. And everything we do in the lymphatic sequence is repeated 3 times. Makes it easy to remember, and it also just keeps that rhythmic motion for the client so that they're always prepared for those 3 strokes. This really is a basic lymphatic technique. I would encourage you all to use the techniques that you're familiar with. Many of you will have had much more experience in lymphatic drainage and you can incorporate those techniques. And those of you that don't have a lot of experience with lymphatic drainage can utilize this as your base. But be constantly educating yourself as to the most up-to-date techniques that you can use on your client's face. Now we start at the chin, drawing out to the ears, where we will begin to drain from that point. Lymphatic drainage is fantastic for anyone who has congested skin. I always like to use it at the beginning of my sequences. It starts to clear the skin and gives it a glow that you otherwise will not see. I'm a big believer in the power of a therapist's hands, and it's so important to use the time that you have for the massage in your facial wisely, as you can see such results when you have done a wonderful facial massage. And that's where you want clients to come back to you. Clients will always come back to someone because of their massage. As you can see, I'm going back to the chin and repeating 3 times. Small pumping action out to the sides. And once we've done the 3 pumping action techniques, we're then going to follow that with just drawing up the ears, small circles. This always feels so nice. Often our ears get left and we don't really take much notice of them. Now I'm going to start to just stimulate the lymphatics behind the ears. Sometimes when you're doing this technique, you may find your clients start to swallow, and that's a normal response. Be careful sometimes not to go in too deep, as it can be a little uncomfortable. Draw down across the décolletage and up the back of the neck. I call this technique the breaststroke. It's what I call a feel-good stroke, and what you will find is that I can repeat this stroke, this technique, after I've done some smaller techniques. It draws the whole body back into balance. Now we're going to begin at the lips and following a very similar sequence, just out to the ears, following the same line. The lymphatic technique is quite light on the surface of the skin. It's not actually like a massage, it's not deep, you're not working deep into the muscle, you're actually working across the top of the skin onto the lymphatics. Go down, across the shoulders and back up, base, skull. It's very meditative doing the lymphatic drainage, and I use the time to really try and draw the energy into my hands, really focusing on what I'm trying to achieve with the client, whether it be detoxifying their skin, stimulating their skin, just ensuring that my intent is very much around what the client's needs are, and that my mind is not focused on what I need to do at the end of the day, where I need to be. It's 100% focused on the client and the client's needs. It gives me a chance to focus on my breath, slow things down, and really be 100% present in what I'm actually doing at that particular time. As you can see now, I've moved towards the sinus area from the nose, tip of the nose. This is great during winter for clients who have congestion, anyone who has allergies or hay fever. It's a nice way to clear. Always stopping back out there near the ears and then back up through back of the neck into the base of the skull. In today's world where we spend so much time sitting at desks, sitting in cars, I do find that clients really do appreciate working through the back of the neck. It holds a lot of tension, a lot of stress, and even though we are performing a facial, the fact that we're drawing up through that back area and we can actually use techniques to just release the muscles at the base of the skull really does help to reduce that tension that they will often feel in the back area. As you can see now, I've moved to the eyebrows. Little pumping action out to the side. There's many varying techniques here, and sometimes you'll find small circles, sweeping techniques. Again, I would encourage you to investigate more into lymphatic drainage if it's an area of interest. This area at the tip of the eyebrows out to the side also holds a lot of tension. We see that in many of us where we hold tension in our forehead, and that obviously leads to the muscles contracting and we get a lot of lines through our forehead. So these massage techniques can really help to just start to break down that tension that's being held in the muscles. The music that we choose to use throughout treatments might be designed by your spa or salon. We are also in the process of putting together a music collection, whether you want to use something that is very deep, relaxing, meditative, or whether you want to use something that's a little bit more contemporary. We'll have those available for you. I love massaging through the third eye here. It really does allow us to open up our intuition. And again, the intent when I'm working through this area is all about clearing, opening up the space so our clients can really start to feel the benefits of not only my hands in the massage, but also the intention of their own deeper meditation as well. Connect that again just with 3 breaststrokes over the shoulders and up through the back of the neck. Slowly and rhythmically, remembering to focus on your breath. And now we're going to begin to move into what I refer as the uplifting massage. You can apply more oil if you need it. Sometimes through this you will actually need a little bit more oil because you will need more slip. Turn the neck onto the side and we're going to draw down over the shoulders and up through the side of the neck. As you can see, the muscle down through the side of the neck can become quite tight. It's important to go in gently to begin with. It can be quite sore on some clients. Most clients will love it, especially if they're holding a lot of tension through that area. Create a little bit of tension onto the shoulder as you move down, and that will create a little bit of traction, a slight stretch. I use my thumb, and depending on how tight that muscle feels, will really allow me to gauge how deep I want to push into that area. Circles into the back of the head, releasing some of that tension that they will find on their scalp also. As you can see, this is a reason why I really don't like to use towels over the client's hair. I like to allow my massage to be able to take them through the hair. Again, you will talk with your clients and see what they prefer, but I think clients will get the most benefit out of any treatment if you're allowed to work throughout their hair as well. The uplifting massage is all about increasing blood flow and stimulating the skin. Once we've done the lymphatic drainage, what we find is that it's slow, it's rhythmical, it's very meditative. Now we're going to move into techniques that are more stimulating, increasing that blood flow. You'll find more redness flowing into the skin after you've completed these techniques. They're very circular based, drawing through the muscles. As you can see here, I'm drawing through those lines on the side of the face, but of course India here is only 20 years old, so she doesn't have any lines on her face yet. And depending on the client that I'm working on, I will shift and change my massage depending on what I'm feeling. If they have more tension around the sides of their mouth, I might apply techniques specifically through that area to make sure that I customize my treatment constantly. Now this technique is called Japanese fanning. I learned it many years ago. It does take sometimes a while to get the hang of the flick of the fingers, but you can see that it flicks through the muscles on the sides of the mouth and up through the cheeks. It's very good for someone who holds a lot of tension there. For older women who have very weathered, leathered skin, or have been smokers for a long time and they have a lot of tension and tightness through that area, that technique really does start to break down the muscle tension, and you see a softening occur in the face once you're finished. I've then moved into a light tapping. Tapping stimulates surface blood flow, pinching through the eyebrows. Again, this starts to reduce the tension that clients feel or see over their forehead. All of this will begin to reduce that tension that's held that can create lines. Ideally, if we could all just have a weekly facial massage, that would also benefit our skin in the long run, increasing oxygenation, increasing toxins being removed from the skin is beneficial to everybody. Figure eights over through the third eye, around underneath the eyes, stimulates the flow. Figure eight works beautifully over the face, it works beautifully over the eyes. And again, drawing back through the third eye, slowly, calmly. Pressure point in the crown, the skull. This is a scissor technique. We're really moving the fibres and the muscles across the forehead in a crisscross fashion. Again, it stimulates and it starts to break down that embedded tension that's held when we frown. Using our palms or our thumbs to gently iron out the forehead, slowly and calmly. Clients should feel that your hands just are flowing from one space to another across their face. They don't really know where you're going to go next, and it's just a continual movement. Once again, the breaststroke down over the shoulders, up through the back of the neck. The entire massage sequence through the Infinity Facial should take close to 20 minutes, and I would encourage you to make sure that you allow that 20 minutes for facial massage. The combing action through the hair, into the scalp, gentle circles, really drawing the energy into the scalp, reducing the tension. Pressure point into that crown chakra 3 times. Again, that pressure point can be a little sore, so I would encourage you not to go too deep. And using your breath, creating a connection that allows you to believe that you're coming to the end of that treatment, the end of that facial sequence. There'll be many other techniques that you will all naturally do through your facials. Some of you will have amazing techniques that you've learned in your travels. And as I mentioned earlier, I would encourage you to utilise those and bring them into the treatment. Allow your own personality to come into this facial sequence. We finish at the heart chakra, as you just saw, placing my hands over the heart chakra. 3 deep breaths. And now I wrap the face in a nice warm towel. This will not only remove any excess oil, but it will also ensure that any excess oil is taken away, so that when I use the mask after this massage, the mask is going on to clean skin. It's warming, it's nurturing,